So, got some updated news on the PlayStation blog about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Developer interview reveals fresh gameplay details as the new trailer debuts at State of Play. So, we're gonna go over this. I want to talk about this. See what they're doing that's different. See what the game directors, producers are doing to change things up. See just things that maybe I guessed at before that are possibly accurate, or see if I'm wrong about something, and talk about what I want and what I hope is going to be in Rebirth, where they're going to end at and whatnot, because I think it should also mention the endpoint. So we got the interview. So here it's talking about, can you explain what we're seeing of the combat system here? Has it remained untouched since Final Fantasy VII Remake, or have you altered anything for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? All right, so just to clarify, this is Katase and Nomura, and then Hamaguchi and Kawamori as well. So we got music supervisor, the creative director, and producer. So Hamaguchi responds, I want to highlight the new synergy moves most from the battle system. This new mechanic allows the player to use synergy commands and abilities freely at any time by using up a gauge charge in a similar manner to limit breaks. So through the battles, players will feel the relationships and bonds that have developed between the characters even more so than in previous game. We've also added skill trees as a new element of character growth. You can unlock synergy abilities through the skill trees too, and then many new materia with new abilities not seen in the first game are available as well, which I kind of guessed that was going to be a thing. They're going to add more materia. They're going to add more summons, and more stuff you can do, more, build variety and things like that, new weapons, things like that, So players will have even more options to customize and build character loadouts to their own stuff. It takes exactly like this is what you expect. You're supposed to do this. So, I feel like we're going to have probably all, if not most of the same material from the first game, but then we're going to have a ton of new material to use in this one. Viewers got a glimpse of Red 13 in combat as part of the new trailer. Players are now able to control him directly. What can they expect in terms of his abilities? That makes him distinct and a great party member in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's battles. All right, then Hamaguchi responds. Development team challenged themselves to give Red 13 a new play style that felt different from the other characters. Red 13 doesn't just have an ATB gauge, but also uses his own unique revenge gauge mechanic. His revenge gauge charges when he guards against enemy attacks, and he can spend that charge to use various abilities once the gauge is filled. We've designed Red 13 as a new type of character that requires the player to strike a balance between offensive strategy using the ATB gauge and defensive strategy using the revenge gauge. Ooh, I like that. They're evolving the character and how he plays, because let's be real. And the OG, when it comes to characters, there's not really much character uniqueness or whatnot, because essentially you can make, I would say, just about any character, if not any character in the OG at least, any type of role you want. The only really, distinction with the characters is how their limit breaks work and what their limit breaks do, and if you unlock all of them and you're in the ultimate limit break and what that does. I would say that's probably the only really biggest distinction in terms of their loadout, moveset, however you want to put it, essentially. So I'm glad they're doing this to, differentiate the characters a little bit. I'm hoping maybe they add some more stuff like this. Like maybe Yuffie has her own thing. We kind of saw that in intermission, where she has her own kind of fighting style with how she uses her abilities now and the weapons like that. So I'm hoping that is still in here, but also expand upon. I'm hoping that other characters like Barrett, Aerith, Cloud, Tifa, they get expanded movesets or things they can utilize. Kate Sif as well. We saw that in the trailer too, that Kate Sif apparently acts a little different than compared to the OG, obviously. He's not always in the that big ass mech suit thing. He's actually able to attack out of it, but also kind of pop into it or teleport or puff into it, wherever the heck it was. It was crazy. Anyway, we have seen Red 13 and K. Sif showing as playable characters, and the footage release also shows another character who looks like Vincent. So will he be playable as well? Will the party expand further too? That's a good question because yeah, as far as I know, okay, Thunder Child, the case is playable. Red 13's playable. Yuffie's playable. Like those are 3 new characters that are going to be fully playable essentially. On top of already what we had in Cloud, Tifa, Barret, Aerith. 4 players that are already playable, right? So we're getting 3 more at least. So let's see what Nomura says. The original party members are all present in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. In the previous title, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Red 13 became an accompanying member in the second half of the game, but he will become an official playable party member starting from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Summary, there are characters who are accompanying members in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that will become official party members in the next title. So my guess is, if that's the case, I kind of feel like that means Sid and Vincent are not going to be playable. That I don't know. Considering we're getting 3 new playable characters and they probably don't want to overload us with the new playable characters, maybe. Just speculating. But it seems like that would make the most sense. Is maybe they save Sid and Vincent to be playable in the 3rd title. The last one. And they'll just be accompanying characters. And viewers caught a glimpse of Alexander and Odin. Yeah, that was Alexander. Can we expect more returning summons from FF7 for Rebirth? And will any summons from Remake return? Yeah, like this was a shock. I was like, wait, what? Because I was looking at it earlier and I want to say it out loud, but I didn't want to like be wrong. But yeah, Alexander is in here. I'm just surprised they brought him in. I was not expecting that. I had a feeling Odin would be in here and they would probably add some more summons, but I don't know. I just was not expecting Alexander. All right, so Maguchi responds. There will be many other summons in the game, in addition to those that have already been revealed in our previous video, with some also returning from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. In fact, the lineup of summons has actually been fleshed out over the and above the previous game, with new extended side content based on a summon who did not feature in the original Final Fantasy VII, and even more besides. Whoa! Wait. This means they're adding more content involving summons that were not in the original Final Fantasy VII. They're adding new summons that's in side content around them, based on them. That's amazing. Oh my god, this is the best question, how long this game's going to be then, because it's going to be longer than Remake. It has to be. This is good. Oh my god, this is like Junior Harbor, I think. Oh man, like when that when you're Cloud and you're disguised as a soldier sneaking in, basically sneaking into original Junin saw players partake in another unique minigame. We saw the parade and many other minigames in a newly revealed trailer. So will the same minigame from the original Final Fantasy VII still be playable? Hamagusa responds, yes, the same minigame will be playable, but we've greatly increased its scope compared to what was in the original Final Fantasy VII. In the original, Cloud sneaks into one of the units participating in the parade and joins in on the performance. Exactly, yep. But in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, he becomes the leader of that unit and can customize the composition of the soldiers participating in the parade. Oh, I like that. That's a nice change. You know, the chosen unit composition will alter the performance, and it goes without saying that this also affects how the minigame is played. Oh, really? The parade to celebrate the inauguration of Rufus as the new president of Shinra is the climax of the first half of the original game. True. So the development team was really enthused about making all the details for it. That's one of the moments I hope players enjoy the most. Nice. And then the fact that they did this, they essentially got Pixel Cloud in here. In some form or another. This is one of the mini games in the Golden Saucer. I love that. Speaking of mini games, we got a fun glimpse of Gold Saucer and its own mini games. How do FF7 Rebirth versions of these differ from the originals? Hamaguchi responds, I think there are a lot of fans who point to the number and variety of mini games as one of the draws of the original Final Fantasy VII. Yes, I agree. But for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we have gone all out and created a huge number of minigames on a scale that surpasses even the original. What? Many of these minigames can be experienced in the main story, but we also have lots of unique games and challenges that appear as part of the side stories you can find as you explore the world map. There might well be players who get so caught up in all the fun minigames that they find they aren't making progress in the main story. I mean, yeah, that's definitely going to happen. I mean, I'm probably going to be guilty of that. I definitely was an intermission with the Fort Condor. Like, that was fun. I love doing that. Oh my goodness. Gold Saucer, no iconic locale that players will be eager to visit. How have you approached redesigning this amusement park? So players will first visit the Gold Saucer in the middle section of the game, but are then free to come back to it any time they like. In order to create that motivation to make them want to come back, we designed the park to provide a changing and ever more wonderful experience with each visit. So the mini games are added and hard difficulty modes are unlocked as the main story progresses, giving you even more to do there. Wow, awesome. It is not just the mini games either, and parts of the Gold Saucer seen the main story of have also been fully remade and upgraded too. So you can expect great things from it. Awesome. The trailer also shows moments of the party exploring lush exterior open areas. How do those larger areas work within the context of the gameplay and story? So once the team leaves Midgar Cloud and the team's major objective, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is to follow and track down Sephiroth across the expansive world they find themselves in. We put a lot of emphasis on exploration-focused game design with this title, as we wanted to create that feeling of going on a journey while traveling around the world in pursuit of the evidence of Sephiroth's movements. Interesting. And I feel like we're not going to get the airship till the third game anyway, so that makes sense. Because in the trailer, too, we saw how you can just ride chocobos. Apparently, you can ride chocobos up a freaking mountain, like a literal wall mountain thing. That was weird. And you can fly with them, too. It's crazy. Now, you're several years into remaking iconic locations of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake being so successful. Do you feel less pressure to match fan expectations when reimagining beloved areas and moments? So respond back with, as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will take players to various locations across the whole world, we needed to recreate the massive Final Fantasy VII world map that would also incorporate places such as towns and dungeons within itself. To do this, we dug deeply into the feeling of each different region and reflected that in the graphics, creating areas that look and feel quite diverse. On top of that, we designed chocobos unique to each region that had their own abilities, e.g. mountain chocobos that can climb sheer cliffs, and sky chocobos that can fly, etc. Yep, that's fantastic. So players will need to utilize their chocobos to fully explore each area. I hope players have a lot of fun with this aspect of exploration. Nice. I'm hoping, and honestly, I don't know if it will be in here. I think it might be better saved for the third game, but it'd be awesome if Knights of the Round is in here. I'm just saying, Knights of the Round, oh my God, please. Please. Final Fantasy VII Remake offered new interpretations of classic locations and moments, as well as entirely new ones that enrich the game. Is there a similar balance for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Katase responds, as with the previous game, we have strived for the right balance between old and new scenes in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but we also tried to take on more new challenges that we did in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with some of the new scenes. I'm confident these new scenes will be widely enjoyable for fans and newcomers alike. Awesome. So yeah, here's the whole chocobo, like mountain chocobo. You can just go up a freaking mountain. It's freaking dope. How much more we got left? We shouldn't have too much left. Okay, cool. What is the function of the world map Final Fantasy Rebirth? So the world map is vast and expansive. So not all of the locations on it will be used in the main story alone. In fact, volume-wise, the amount of side content in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is nearly double that of the main quest content. What? Nearly double. Wow. Okay. Players who want to enjoy Final Fantasy VII setting on an even deeper level can explore all the corners of the world, discovering many different and exciting experiences, such as new stories. battles, and the minigames to play. It will also be possible to return to any of the regions in the world even after the main quest moves on from that area. So you don't have to worry about leaving things behind unfinished. That's good. Given this is a direct continuation, Final Fantasy VII Remake, can players port over their save file and their character builds to continue their journey into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? That's a good question, but I highly doubt it's going to be. I don't think that's something they're going to do. We have announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake project will be a trilogy and that each entry will be a standalone game in its own right. Because of this, each game's balancing is done independently, and a player's levels and abilities will not carry over from one game to the next. However, we have created some special bonuses for fans who played the previous game, allowing them to start with a little something extra. Yeah, I mean, I've had a feeling that they're not going to do that. But here's the thing. They have to figure out a way to, if we got to start from level 1 and go up to level 50 or 100, wherever it is, I'm still hoping that I want them to have it where Yuffie steals the materia and stuff like that, essentially kind of debuffing the party in a sense to give them a reason, okay, this is why we're low leveled again, or this is why we're low. Even if it's not level 1, maybe it's level 5, 10, whatever have you. It's a reason to why you're lower leveled, you know? Give a legitimate, don't just like, I don't know, don't just do something, don't create a MacGuffin or whatever just because, you know? Just make it make sense, please. What can you tell us about soundtrack music of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? So the world Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is much larger. The world Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is much larger. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think someone needs to fix this translation. Because of this, the team has created a variety of new music to go alongside that. We've also expanded the variety of musical games this time around. So I think there will be plenty to enjoy. And of course, we also have many rearrangements of classic tracks from the original Final Fantasy VII too. So I hope fans will enjoy comparing both iterations of the same song to see what has changed. For example, the music in the newly released trailer is a rearrange of Final Fantasy VII main theme as a battle music track and gives you a taste of the direction the team has decided to take in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Nice! I love the music. The music's so good. What was the concept behind the new trailer? Every trailer has a specific purpose. Since this second installment in Final Fantasy VII Remake project, there are people who have played the previous game or enthusiastic fans who follow the built-in mysteries. But for newcomers or those who are simply interested in the Final Fantasy VII series, we want to include a full overview of what kind of experience you'll have with this remake project. So there's less of mysterious pretense to the story this time, which you can look forward to next trailer. Nice. All right, almost done, guys. It was a scene with Cloud and Sephiroth fighting together, but will the player get to control Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Very good question. I hope so, please. Oh, man. So, if you played the original Final Fantasy VII, I'm sure you can guess which scene I'm talking about. You will be able to control Sephiroth in the same scene in this title as you did in the original. Wow, it's confirmed. Yes, that's part of what I wanted. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting us to be able to control Sephiroth in the matter of like using his full abilities. No, I feel like it's going to be more like simple controlled type of stuff. Like we're not going to probably be doing like the full ATB gauge menu stuff and whatnot, but you know, a simple attack, you know, maybe a few spells, something like that. I think it'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Like a taste, essentially, like a slice of how it feels to be Sephiroth. But if they do go above and beyond and give us like, not necessarily his full, you know, toolkit of moves, but, you know, a good chunk, a good significant amount, then yeah, I'll be extremely happy with that. Gold Saucer appears in newly released trailer, but will players be able to enjoy the much anticipated date scene on the Ferris wheel too? Oh yes, the date scene. We gotta have that. Actually, this is one of the major highlights of Gold Saucer, so it is included in the game. Yes, please look forward to how it will appear in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with its high resolution visuals. Awesome. Final Fantasy VII Remake showed the story up until the escape from Midgar, but what point does Final Fantasy VII Rebirth take us up to? Oh, here we go. All right, before I read this, what I want and hope is I want it to be where essentially they get captured, meteors on its way. Like I think that's great, and essentially Tifa Baird about to be executed. Like I think that's a great ending point for this game, but we'll see here. We have mentioned this a few times before, but the order in which you can explore the locations is not the same as the original Final Fantasy VII. And there are some shifts in the order. For example, Wutai, one of the major locations, is not part of the route in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and will be visited in the next one. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, technically it's optional. You do not have to do Wutai. So I understand why they're doing that. I get it. And they're saving it for a third title because, yeah, you do not have to go to Wutai whatsoever in, Disc 2, essentially, or outside of Midgar, or Disc 1, where you're still, going through stuff. So, okay. I'm not mad about that, So I'm wondering then, are they still going to allude to it, or are you going to have Yuffie still talk about, like, how are they going to do that then when it pertains to Yuffie, if they still incorporate this, stealing their materia, right? I still think hopefully they incorporate where she steals it early on, and that's why you're lower leveled or whatever. So all right, anyway, continuing. Although there are some changes in the other order of the locations depicted in this title extend up to the Forgotten Capital, where the greatest fate of Final Fantasy VII awaits you. Wow. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. To be honest, I wasn't. But, alright. I get it. They're switching things up around, though, too. Forgotten Capital. It might have been Forgotten City in the OG, but essentially it's the same place. It's like that white city, essentially. So, wow. Okay. Huh. I was not what I was hoping for. I wanted to be when the meteor's on its way, but it's fine. All right. From what we've seen so far, though, they're expanding upon the combat, like with these synergy abilities, synergy attacks, which essentially is like your team combo attacks. I'm loving that. That's what I wanted. They're kind of teasing it in the intermission DLC, Yuffie DLC. Sephiroth is controllable. He's playable, not for the entire game, but for that slice of it, which I'm happy about. That's what I wanted. That, and just to have it be like, a nice like globe-trotting adventure, or at least the start of that in this game. Oh my god, I'm excited for it. I'm happy about it. Yes. I imagine we're not going to hear anything else about this until Game Awards. Because since this was here at State of Play, it's probably not going to be at Tokyo Game Show. It's probably not going to be at Tokyo Game Show since we got the update here. So, I mean, I'll be very surprised if there's like another thing at Tokyo Game Show, but I don't think so. So I think it's going to be a little while, and we'll get something at Game Awards. I would imagine at the Game Awards we'll get the collector's edition revealed. We already got the release date today, or when it happened today. So I imagine since Game Awards makes sense, since it's coming out February 29th, Game Awards is in December, a few months away. So 3 months before it comes out, yeah, announce the collector's edition, how much it is, what comes with all that stuff. So, okay. Awesome. Not much else I really want in this other than they've already confirmed there's going to be new summons and new side content, expanded almost double the base game content of Rebirths like that. So it's going to be chock full of content, loaded. Going to be much longer than the first game was. Because, I mean, even with doing, I think, everything that you can do on a first playthrough on Remake, that game was like 40 to 50 hours. This seems like it's going to be about 100. 80, maybe, if you're trying to do everything on a first playthrough, that is. 80 to 100 hours, I can easily see on a first playthrough. And hopefully they add some New Game Plus like they did with Remake and give some, like, extra optional bosses or hidden bosses on the hard difficulty. Switch it up. Make it feel like a new game on New Game Plus. Please. Everything else, pretty much, yeah. Sephiroth, I don't know how they're going to freaking make us all leveled. Obviously, our save doesn't carry over from the first game. So I'm just hoping they make a good, legitimate way of why either we're depowered and got to re-level up or something like that, or starts at 50 and we got to go to 100. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited. I'm more hyped for this. Can't wait. This is I love Final Fantasy. It's my favorite RPG series franchise of all time. FF7, second favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. And yes, I love it. I love it. I love it.